Welcome, friends, to another exciting episode of A VGM Journey, and I'm your host, The Messenger. The track that we're playing in today's show is Funk Down Under from the game ToeJam and Earl, Back in the Groove, originally composed by John Baker and arranged by Cody Wright. Like always, I got a fun show for you guys, and even some spooky requests, and I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if it's already after Halloween. We could still have a creepy, spooky good time. And we're going to kick things off with a request from Heat Override, and he wanted me to play the track Cemetery from the game Gex, and it was composed by Greg Weber and Steve Henifin. Alright, that track that you guys just listened to, that was Cemetery from the game Gex. It was composed by Greg Weber and Steve Henifin, and this was a request by Heat Override, so thank you, Heat Override, for that request. This track would have been perfect for a potential Halloween episode, where it's very spooky sounding, but not straight up terrifying. So I think for me, the perfect Halloween music are the ones that, yeah, they are spooky sounding, but I think with a little bit of whimsical and maybe not taking itself too seriously. I think that's just a good blend for what Halloween music should be like, and this track is definitely one that's fitting the bill. And I know that Heat Override's got a little bit of a soft spot for the 3DO, which is a system that I'm starting to realize it's a bit underrated. So I don't know. I always kind of just had the perception of it being a pretty crappy system. But in reality, it's actually pretty decent. I would even say maybe good. And I will admit that I really have no experience with the Gex games at all. But that could change with the upcoming compilation of the three Gex games, which I'm not sure when that's coming out, but supposedly soon. So I think that's definitely something worth looking into. We're going to move on to another request, this time coming from Martyrus, and he wanted me to play the track The Nightmare Festival from the game Disney Speedstorm, and that this was a track that was originally composed by Danny Elfman, and this was arranged by Vincent Labelle, Nicholas Dube, Francis Collard, and Martin Courcy. That track that you guys just heard, that was The Nightmare Festival from the game Disney SpeedStorm. It was originally composed by Danny Elfman and arranged by Vincent Labelle, Nicholas Dube, Francis Collard, and Martin Courcy, and this was a request by Martyrus, so thank you Martyrus for that request. This was a pretty banging track, which is not too surprising because I've heard some of the other tracks from this game, especially while producer of the show Carly was playing this game, and she says the game itself is pretty decent, and though I'm not a big fan of these free-to-play, microtransaction-heavy kind of games, I am thinking to myself that it could be a lot worse. When it comes to finding and playing some really good remixes of various different songs, I will say that Martyrus is definitely your guy for that, so I just want to say once again, thank you for that request, Martyrus. Up next, we got another request, this time coming from Mario Party streamer and friend of the show, GK. And he wanted me to play a track from Rivals of Aether 2. The track is Hodojo, and this was composed by Resoforce and Moonsailor. That track that you just heard, that was Hodojo from the game Rivals of Aether 2. It was composed by Resoforce and Moonsailor, and this was a request by GK. So thank you, GK, for that request. Definitely the least Halloween-y sounding track for the show, which that doesn't matter because this track is really awesome. And I was surprised on how good it was. I don't know, maybe my expectations were a little lower. Like, I was expecting it to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. And Rivals of Aether is a pretty popular game. It's one of those Super Smash Brothers clones, but it's a really good one. And I know that in between his Mario Party sessions, that GK's been putting some time into Rivals of Aether and playing with some other people, and I'm sure that he's having a real good time. I know I would if I'm listening to music like this. And I'm not much of a fighting game guy, but I do enjoy me some Super Smash Brothers, so something like this is totally up my alley. And I think I gotta play some more songs from it too. This is way too good. So I just want to say once again, thank you for that request, GK. And speaking of Mario Party, when I was making the Super Mario Party Jamboree episode, I had so much music picked out that I wound up cutting quite a bit. And this is one of the cut music for that show, which is a contest in space from the game Super Mario Party Jamboree. And it was composed by Shigenobu Okawa and Yuta Yamaguchi. That track that you guys just heard, that was A Contest in Space from the game Super Mario Party Jamboree, and it was composed by Shigenobu Okawa and Yuta Yamaguchi. And that's going to just about do it for the show today. If you guys like what you've been listening to, have your friends check out the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and we're also on TerraPlayer, which is the home for various different video game and video game music podcasts. It's definitely a good time. You can email the show at vgmjourney@yahoo.com, and you could also check us out on X at vgmjourney. We also have a Discord server for the show, which I will provide a link for that in the show notes, where you can hang out with your fellow VGM journeymen and talk about games, music, and even look at some cool art. We're also going to play things out with one more track, and I decided to go with a real fun one. Some people like it, some people hate it. I think it's just very enjoyable, so let's go with it. And that track is Dog Ending from the game Silent Hill 2, and it was composed by Akira Yamaoka. Have a good one, everyone.